All right, welcome into the College Football Roundtable. We have a cool show today. We're going to talk the bowl season, and we got Bus and Mick who do a bowl packet every year on tonight, and we're going to talk to them about the bowl packet and also some bowl games. How you doing, Bus?
Seen better days. We're doing good though.
Been a rough one.
Oh yeah, today fucking sucked.
Well, how's the weather up there right now?
Also fucking sucks. Today was probably the best day we've probably had. But it was snowing a little bit over the weekend. We had an ice storm this weekend too. So whenever those happen, you pretty much just plant your ass inside, unless you got kids like Mick and have to go places.
Yeah, that was a
Mick,
fun morning.
Do y'all live in the same state?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
in West Des Moines,
it's-
and then Mick, you're in Johnston, right?
Yep.
Or about probably 20 minutes
20
away,
minutes.
depending on how fast you go on the interstate.
yeah, here it was 72 today.
Yeah, sign me up for that. It's always funny talking to people from the South, and they're like, "Oh, I love the winter," and you're like, "Fucking come up here, you'll fucking hate it real quick."
That's funny you said that because I was just fixing to say that because me and my wife, we like cold weather, but I am absolutely sick to my stomach that it's 72 and we're like a couple of days from Christmas.
Yeah,
Like there's something I can't. That just sucks. That just sucks to me. I would rather it be cold. But anyway, all right. So I wanted to get into this bowl packet. I've been following both of y'all the last 2 years, I think now. And this thing is so neat that y'all do. I got it. I actually have it. If anybody wants to get it, go to their Twitter page at CFB_SAT slate. But what I want to ask is like, how long have y'all been doing this?
Mick, I can let you take that since you kind of started it all.
Yeah, so this actually stemmed from my oldest brother. We've always kind of been diehard bowl geeks, right? So he kind of started, I'm going to say it's like late 90s, where he would make a packet. It was just a generic, like on a green piece of paper with a generic football guy on there. And it just have your schedule, right? With the teams, the bowl game, what channel and time, right? So it just started really kind of generic like that. And as we kind of went along with it, he's like, man, this is stuff I want to look back on. This is like a story of the season. So we need to start adding bowl logos. We need to start adding records of teams. And then as you can imagine, that just morphed into, well, we got to do stats for the games. Oh, we got to do the trophies so we can look back at it, know who won the Heisman that year, know who won the, Doak Walker and all that stuff. So it morphed from literally just kind of a generic schedule in the late 90s, and it just kind of kept ballooning from there. And then he kind of got older and stuff like that. He's like, I'm ready to retire. And Bus and I are good buddies. And I showed him the packet one year, and he's like, oh man, this is something I can sink my teeth into. And I'd say about 5 years, maybe, Bus, that we've been working, collabing on it.
Yeah, I think the first year I started with you was 2016. So
oh God, so longer.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. So, and honestly, since Bus has kind of been collabing with me on it, it's got bigger and better every year. I'm biased, but every year, in my opinion, it's got bigger and better. So.
Yeah, well, I know I enjoy it. You know, it's crazy. I actually thought you two were brothers. I did not know y'all were brothers. This whole time I thought y'all were brothers, but
not blood brothers, but
right.
Yeah, got you. So how long putting something like this together? How long does that take? Like, what's the process in that? Whichever one wants to talk about that.
Yeah, I can talk on that. Usually we start talking about it around rivalry weekend. We try to throw something together for rivalry weekend to highlight all the rivalry games, trophies, what they're called, all that stuff. And then we usually get that done early in the week. And then right after that, it's like, all right, what do we want to put in this thing? A lot of times we look back on what we did the previous year. So a lot of it is consistent from year to year. And then every year we try to add, one or two more things that we think might be cool to kind of incorporate towards that. I know last year we started doing conference reviews, so having all the conference standings, championship games, all that stuff. So to answer your question, like I said, we started around Thanksgiving, and then up until the playoff really gets announced and bowl games, there's not really a whole lot. But as soon as bowl games get announced that Sunday, it's pretty much balls to the wall every night. Come home from work, hammer something out. So yeah, I would say, especially this year with the playoffs starting right away and bowl games starting that first week, usually we have everything done and then a week to kind of sit around and wait. But yeah, this year especially, really got to get in and hammer it out right away. So yeah, I'd say probably during that week, Sunday is all day, getting everything formatted. Formatting is really the most difficult part of it, trying to figure out how everything's going to look, and then trying to get it all aligned so that it all prints on the page and everything how we want it. So yeah, Sunday all day, and then yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is probably, I usually get home around 5:15, 5:30, and I'm working on that thing till 10 or 11 at night. So that week is pretty intense, and then usually by the following Saturday, once we hit that, it's making sure everything's formatted correctly, making sure we have everything, especially with the bowl games, consistent on what information that we're putting on there. So yeah, I'd say it's at least a 40-hour week, probably that whole week leading up to it.
Wow. Yeah, and you can tell too. That's why everybody really needs to go check this thing out, because it's really detailed and just so much information in it. Mick had brought up that this started out of a love for bowl games, and I grew up loving bowl games also, and I still do. I hate the people that wanted to abolish them, get rid of them, all that stuff. I don't get to watch as many as I used to, but that more has to do with the fact that I have 2 kids and a wife. But I would watch every single bowl game from the time they started all the way to the national championship. So when you brought that up, I was just wondering, how has the new college football portal, opt-outs, all that stuff, how has that affected y'all doing this every year?
I could take it as best I can. I mean, really, as you know, anyone that follows college football knows, with the portal, it's literally an hour-to-hour thing, right? So like we've talked about, we need to get the updated portal and stuff like that in the packet, and it's like, holy cow, how do you do that? You know what I mean? So we haven't really touched on it a ton in the packet because it's almost dang near impossible unless we're going to send out updated packets literally daily. What do you think on that, Buzz? We've never really talked about it, but that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I know it's troubled us the first couple of years that they had it, because we had player stats. So we'd have like their top passer, top 3 running backs, top 3 receivers, all that stuff. And I know this year, I think, is the first year that we kind of got away from that, because there was a lot of, you have that information on there, but it's like, oh, he's not playing. I didn't know that. So this year, especially, we just decided just to get rid of all the player stats altogether. One, because like you said, the portal is crazy and it's changing every single day, every single hour. And then 2, because while it's kind of cool, it's at the same time, it's almost just kind of like eye candy. It's like, oh, it's cool to look at, but it's not, like, a lot of it really isn't that important, and you're really not looking at it unless there's like a guy that you're specifically looking for. So yeah, this year we just got rid of it altogether. And yeah, that I would say that's probably how it's impacted how we did it. But yeah, I'd just say, honestly, for us, that makes it a lot easier, because it's looking up all the fucking player stats and entering those in it's a lot. It's a pain in the ass, and for kind of the reward for the effort really isn't there for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and this is probably a dumb question because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. I'll start with Bus. Has the portal and all that, has that affected your love for bowl games? Do you still love it as much as you did as when you were a kid or when you were younger?
Yeah, I would say the portal definitely makes it difficult to keep up with. Honestly, right now with the portal, I don't really even pay attention to it. I couldn't tell you a lot of the stuff.
Smart man.
For me, it's just I don't know. For me, it's kind of an idea of I'm not gonna base my mood and how I feel about something based on a decision that's made by 18, 19-year-old kid. If they want to play in it, great. I'll watch it. If they don't want to play in it, great. I'll still watch it.
God, I need to take your advice. Mick, has it affected your? Because I mean, like you said, you've been doing this. You said since 1995 or late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been watching. I mean, you've been watching bowl games for a long time, and I was watching it back then too. Has it affected your love for bowl games?
No, I still watch every single one, every minute I can. And I'm kind of with Bus. Whoops, sorry, almost lost you there. I'm kind of with Bus. I'm not gonna let it ruin my mood. You know what I mean? And when you kind of think about it, like even last year, I can't remember off the top of my head what bowl A&M was in, but you got introduced to Marcel Reed, right? So if you're an A&M fan or you follow SEC football, whatever, you're going, oh dang, this guy's really good. This guy looks dangerous. What will A&M look like next year? So it's almost more of a preview to next year. The portal takes some of that away, but it doesn't affect me watching games. If anything, it's almost more interesting because it's like, okay, let's see if this guy's legit. Let's see if he gets a shot next year. It's almost a preview to next year for me.
Yeah, and just to show my love for it, I'm literally watching it while y'all talk.
Yep, I got one on. I got the Boca Raton Bowl on one of my TVs here.
Yeah, so
Mick,
I still love bowl games.
One thing I want to point out, Mick, tell them about your menu and everything that you do.
Oh, yeah. We kind of, for whatever reason, I don't know, a couple of years ago, it's probably about 5 years, but you kind of start out getting all these sponsors for these bowl games, so you don't have necessarily the Citrus Bowl anymore, right? You got all these sponsors, the Cheez-It Bowl and all this different stuff. And just to kind of add to the excitement and in all honesty, to try to get my family more involved with it. So now that I got a couple kids and a wife, I started doing special menu items and food for every single bowl game to kind of get them more involved. Like, okay, they might not care about the Frisco Bowl, but they care about eating Frisco burgers with curly fries. You know what I mean? So I started out about 5 years ago, and it's been fun and kind of get some other people ideas on like, man, I don't know what to do with this game or that game. But yeah, I always try to incorporate some food with each bowl game too. It's kind of a fun little thing.
I'm so glad Bus brought that up. That is awesome. I'm actually writing that down because that's going to be something. I got 2 kids and a wife, one daughter that loves football, and the other 2, daughter and wife, who has absolutely zero interest.
Yep.
Everybody loves food, though.
Yeah, exactly. But they all love food. Exactly. Moving to like the bowl games that I have that are going on and the ones that are coming. What is y'all's favorite non-playoff bowl that y'all are looking forward to, and why?
Mick, I can let you go. I don't have a.
Yeah, so this year in particular, I'm really looking forward to this South Carolina-Illinois game. Just because South Carolina was one of the hottest teams in the nation towards the end of the year. And then you got Bielema, who, he coached in the SEC. He's kind of a rough-nosed guy. He wants to win the O-line, D-line battle. He wants to be physical. So that game really intrigues me. And plus, obviously, there's not a ton of opt-outs as far as key players in that one. Both quarterbacks are playing. Altmaier's coming back. Sellers coming back for Carolina. So I'm really looking forward to that one, especially as hot as South Carolina was to end the year. And in all honesty, I don't think there's a team with a better record than Illinois that's talked about less than them. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think I would agree there. That was the one that was in my head.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that one, especially with Illinois. That was a good point on that.
For me, looking through it, I decided on Georgia Tech Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeming that one the we fucked up the playoff bowl. Knocking out Miami and Alabama. Yeah, I think that should be an interesting one. And then looking through, I think USC A&M will be a really fun one to watch too. Just to kind of see, I think that's one to kind of see where both head coaches are as far as where they're going with programs. You got Lincoln Riley, who let's see in year, I don't even freaking know anymore, but he's at 6-6. Is he going to keep, pushing and trying to make make some moves, and then A&M obviously with Elko in his first year. Is he going to start to be able to make another big jump and kind of a splash with everything?
Yeah, I just thought about it. Actually, I do have another one. Florida Tulane. I know there's opt-outs and all that, but we just talked about that. I'm still looking forward to that one. That one should be a real fun one.
Yeah.
And get a chance to see Tulane, who's going to potentially be playing for him next year since the quarterback left. All right. So the other sorry, my phone just froze on me. What is there a favorite bowl memory that either one of you had, growing up or even last couple of years? Is there like a bowl that just, kind of stuck with you as one of your favorite memories?
Go ahead, boss.
One that's outside of the playoff, obviously. One that I do remember, and Season's gonna hate me for this, is the Iowa LSU game and Saban's last game at LSU, and Iowa won on the Hail Mary in the end zone. Mick's gonna hate me too for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. Obviously the Rose Bowl with Vince Young, all that. When we were younger, we would always on the national championship game Monday, our parents would always take us down to Family Video, and we'd rent a video game. We'd watch the whole football game, and then we'd stay up late playing video games after that. So I would say that was probably a pretty good childhood core memory. And a lot of times, too, we'd have snow days the next day, so we'd just get up and play video games all day, too. Yeah,
I'd say for me, obviously there's a lot of specific games that stick out of my head, but for whatever reason, I feel like every year you got to watch the Alamo Bowl. You got to watch the Alamo Bowl. Like in recent memory, I mean, the Oregon TCU, the comeback game, the Baylor Washington game where RG3, gosh, I feel like it was like 70-68 or something ridiculous. But for me as a kid, that it's always been the Alamo Bowl, because I remember I'm a Nebraska fan. So I remember I was watching K-State, who got completely snubbed that year, got thrown in the Alamo Bowl as like a top 5 team. And I'm like, oh my God, they played Purdue. They're going to kill Purdue. Purdue had Drew Brees and other ideas, man. And Purdue beat K-State. And ever since then, I'm like, I got to watch the Alamo Bowl every year. That one sticks out in my head a ton.
Yeah, I love the Alamo Bowl. I'm from Texas, so I do enjoy watching that one. I'm going to take a cop-out. Well, I don't think it's a cop-out because it's not. Back then, it wasn't a playoff game, and I'm going to kind of be old man yelling at clowns here, but the 2007 Sugar Bowl, and I'm going to be a homer too, the 2007 Sugar Bowl with Georgia versus Hawaii. That was one of my favorites. And old man yelling at cloud, I miss when the Sugar Bowl and Orange Bowl used to be such a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember 2007, like, I didn't remember being that mad that we wasn't in the national championship. We were 10-2. We was one of the hottest teams at the end of the season. But, like, I remember the next day, my family and I, we went to the mall, and, like, I bought a Sugar Bowl shirt after the win. And nowadays, if you buy a Sugar Bowl shirt, you'll get laughed at.
I can get picked on. That's how you bring bullying back.
Yeah. So, that's how you bring bullying back. So I miss the days when the Sugar Bowl used to be like a big deal. And 2007, Georgia fans call me crazy, but it's actually still my favorite year despite a national championship back to back. Like 2007, it's just it's ingrained in my brain as one of my favorite years as a Georgia fan. But all right, so but yeah, that was awesome. Season we talked about that. Favorite low key game. Yeah, I think it's what's one of your favorite low key games, Bus?
Like bowl games or bowl matchups?
Bowl games.
I always liked the Gasparilla Bowl. That or the Camellia Bowl when they had it. What'd they change that to? I can't remember with that one.
I don't know. I can't ever keep up with it.
Yeah. I always like those too.
Yeah. I'd probably agree there. I've enjoyed. I just like all of them. Yeah. I just love watching all of them. Especially when especially I remember when I was, like I said, growing up, I would watch, what is it like? Isn't it like 30 days straight or something like that? Or
Yeah.
it's something crazy, but I just remember watching every single one of them. And but anyway, so then this is the last question because I know Mick's got to go here in a little bit. But which game is your favorite? I think we already asked like the bowl, but why is the Pop Tarts your favorite? The Pop Tarts bowl, because that is that bowl game the last 2 years has been my favorite. Because of how like they're geniuses on how they're doing it, like the marketing and all that stuff. And I really think other bowl games need to do what they're doing to kind of like liven up bowl season.
Yeah, I would definitely say Pop-Tart, Cheese It. I freaking love the commercial. The cheese. I always done that randomly in my family group chat throughout the year. So yeah, right now it's just kind of whatever bowl, kind of markets. I do like on X when like bowl games will tweet at teams throughout the season, or even at the end of the year when they're like, like, hey, it's just me checking in, how things are going. Like the little marketing stuff that they do with that, I'd say is kind of where I tend to go with that. Yeah, I'd definitely say the Cheez It is probably at the top of the list. And then obviously the Duke's Mayo Bowl is another one that I love.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Like, I think it's so awesome that they do that. Just like I work with a couple people who grew up in Europe. So like they're all big soccer fans. And like I got a couple of them into college football this year. And I always will send them stuff and be like, the European brain can't fathom what this is. But yeah, I'd say those couple are definitely ones that go to the top of the list.
Yeah, I like the Mayo Bowl.
I was just going to throw in too, they give an effort, but it's not on like a national stage, I don't feel like. But if you watch the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and then dumping coolers of French fries on people and whatnot, that's they give a good effort for what they got there in Boise for that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too. That one's awesome.
It's like that meme. It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Yeah. The mayo on the coach is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. I don't even know which. Do y'all happen to actually know which one is that one this year?
I want to say it's Minnesota, Virginia Tech, because
right.
I said I'm not a big PJ Fleck fan, so it's like I want to see him get dumped with the mayo, but then again, that means they win, so I'm torn,
Yeah, that might be a good segment there. Which coach would we love to see? I personally, I don't know that I would love to see this because that means my team probably did not have a good year, but I'd love to see Kirby Smart's grumpy ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because I have a sweet spot for him, Coach O.
Oh yeah.
Come on, boy, throw that mayo on me.
Yes.
I love Coach O. I miss him.
Oh God, I miss him too. He needs to be hired by somebody. Like there's 134 schools. Somebody's got to hire him just to bring him back. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some other coaches that's like Nick Saban would have been amazing to watch get mayo on him. Like the most serious ones, Jimbo Fisher, he'd have been a good one. He'd have been a good one. But yeah, man, that's awesome.
Miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
He probably fucking eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, he would. All right. So I think that'll pretty much do it. It's a little shorter show tonight, but I know Mick's busy and Bus, he's been having a hellacious week getting this all ready. So we're gonna keep it short tonight. Appreciate everybody watching. Mick and Bus, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all, this is amazing stuff, and I'm still working my way through it. I was reading some of it last night and going through it. So I appreciate. Yeah. I hope y'all never do, but I don't know. This shouldn't be free. It should be. But I feel bad reading it because I'm like, man, I really should have paid for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my oldest brother, when he started out, he had physical copies, and like, he'd make like 8 to 10, and family members would get it. Next thing you know, someone sees it at someone's work. And I think the last year he did it, he handed out something like 62, and people are like giving him money for it and stuff like that. And he's like, no, it's just for people who love college football, man. And I really, we put a ton of hours into it and stuff like that. And Bus with the formatting does an amazing job. But really it's just, getting money for it would be sweet, but hey man, if you're a college football fan, please just look at it and enjoy it. That's all I ask. Just enjoy every piece of it.
And I've got to, I'm an idiot because I had this written down. I want to talk about this right here is my favorite, Mick, that you do, the all underrated team. I love that because it kind of highlights players that, I've seen some of them. I'm like, man, I didn't even know who that guy is. And, it made me go look them up and watch some highlights and stuff. This is my favorite thing on the whole bowl packet.
Yeah, the coolest thing about that too is looking back on years past.
Yeah,
on guys that he had. Those are really cool to look back on and be like, holy shit, that dude's a stud now.
Yeah, It was like I want to say last year Scatabo. I had Scatabo on it. 2 years ago I had Trevor Etienne, and dude, it's fun. I watch college football nonstop, and my wife hates it, but yeah, man, I just kind of take little notes in my brain watching games. Like, man, that guy can make plays, and I appreciate saying something because I have a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah, I can't believe I almost let the show go without mentioning that because I was telling my wife, who doesn't have a damn clue what I'm talking about. But I was like, man, this little section here is cool as hell. But yeah, it had me doing a lot of Googling on some of them because some of them I'm like, man, I don't know that guy. But yeah, it's an awesome thing. I encourage everybody to go check it out. It's on Bus's Twitter page at CFB. Well, that's both of y'all's Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So at CFB_SAT Slate. Appreciate you guys coming on, and we appreciate everybody watching tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man. Enjoy the bowl games.
Yes, sir. You too.